Hi guys, this is Cobra Tom.
And Venom Lily.
And we are going to be doing a video today. And that video we're doing is Star Wars. As for 2025's honorable mentions, these are figures that Athena and I bought over the year that we didn't have any figures complete. We don't know. We just kind of bought figures because we thought we'd like them. We've got Dr. Mindbender here. Whispering Willie, which I believe is a core figure. We have the Dominator driver. I can't even think of what his name is. He's a Dominator driver. We have the Stun Viper. We have Naugahyde, Blizzard, and a figure I made, which is not complete, but I'm going to have to kind of rearrange some parts around and do some stuff, but fix that one. And that'll be Slasher, a new Dreadnought. So in the space of a little bit, I've got 3 Dreadnoughts here. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. Now, starting at number 10 is the Beast Raiders Savage Dungeon by Chap May. This is, several years old. I have to look at the date. I believe it is early 2000s. That's all it says. So I'm guessing like 2001 or 2. So this is a huge tower and base. Let me get a 3 3/4 inch figure to show you. Here is Scrap Iron, a nice bad guy to put. And here is, I just had one. Here we go. Here is a 4-inch taller figure. The name won't match, but that's okay. Here's a little bit taller figure, and as you can see, this playset is humongous. I mean, it is huge. So it is really cool. Put him here. Now, I know that Savage Dungeon and Chap May and all that stuff is not G.I. Joe, but this will eventually go into my bad guy base. And I think this is one of the coolest knockoff. It's a little cheap, it's a little hollow, but just look at it. It looks cool. Looks amazing. Coming in at number 9 is the Jump. It's a 1982 jetpack jump site where you can put the figure, and I'll take a Stalker figure here. I'll just give you a quick rundown of what you can do. This is not a review, but I'll just show you. You put this on here. You give them like that and kind of sort of like that. And then you can put him on the foot peg. Let's see if I can do this right. Here we go. And let me back this up. That. And there you go. And it's supposed to simulate him jumping off of the thing with a jetpack. And he can fly off. And in the cartoon, you could see, not the platform, but you can see Stalker in the opening cartoon jumping with a jetpack. So that's really cool. And I think he shoots sticks of dynamite. I can't remember, but it's something like that. It's very cool. At Number 8 is the 1990 Locust. I really like this. I think that this is probably one of the coolest helicopter vehicles that I have. I know I did a review on this, but here we go. Now we'll do a front view. Probably something like that. And there it is. This is one of my favorites. I really like this. I know it's a bit on the small side and a bit on the you could maybe say corny side, because you would never put figures on the, or you'd never put troops on the outside of a helicopter. It'd be too dangerous. Yeah, but I mean, this is really cool. I really like this. I really like the bomb dropping feature. I really like the missiles, the guns. Even if you didn't have the figures on there. Still looks like a really sleek helicopter. Looks like it could go pretty darn fast, because there's very little resistance towards it. It's got a very angular feature to it. So I think it would be a really cool helicopter. If it were real, I'm not 100% sure it would work in real life, but yeah. But for a toy, that is pretty darn cool. Coming in at number 7 is the Cobra Viper. Now here I have Cobra Vipers. I have 3 of them. And here's the file card for the figure. This isn't going to be a very review or anything, but see, I gave him, this one, a different backpack and a Final Faction gun, because he just looks so good with it. And he's got a nice backpack, which I can paint. And here's the actual figure with the right gun and the right backpack. This will get a review of its own. And another one where it has a different backpack. Has kind of a communications backpack and a different kind of gun. Yeah, this one doesn't want to stand up. He's not acting very nicely. But I got a bunch of these this year. Now, I had this figure when I was younger. But now that I'm older, I appreciate this figure even more than I did probably as a kid. I just like the colors. I like the scheme. I like the helmets. I just like everything about it. Coming in at number 6. Nobody's favorite character. I don't know of anybody who actually wanted this figure. But I did. When I was a kid, my friend had all the Star Wars stuff, and I've always wanted to put this with my Emperor. I always wanted the Emperor and his Imperial dignitaries. Here's my Emperor. And here's a couple of the... Now these are newer. These are like Clone War or Attack of the Clone figures. But now I can put them all together and it looks pretty awesome. I know he's nobody's favorite. I have wanted him probably since Now, I know he came out in like 1984 or 1985, but being a little kid and being a farmer's son and all of that stuff, you know, I don't know if I'd have known about that, but my friend had it. And I vaguely remember, like in 1986 or 1987, seeing all of his figures and stuff. And yeah, I always wanted that. He was so cool. Coming in at number 5. is the 1998 Cobra Ravage and the 1998 Cobra Alley Viper. This set is really cool. This thing can hold, I think I said like 10 figures. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 figures. So it holds a lot of figures. It's got some really cool play features. If you kind of scoop the seat up, it looks like it can fire missiles. On the back, you can deploy mines. So it's a really, really, really cool toy with a very nice Cobra color scheme with a very cool Alley Viper. One of my actual, the Alley Viper, the original, like 1990, is probably one of my favorite figures. And this one is very cool too, with a much more Cobra like color scheme. Coming in at number 4. This may surprise some people actually, but this is the General, the 1990 General. And you can just fill this up with figures. It's got places for figures on the outside, figures on the inside, helicopters, a huge gun that shoots gigantic shells out. Oh no! I lost somebody. Oh no! Pathfinder. Oh, he fell. There's guns on the outside. A really cool thing. I couldn't get my electronics to work, but yeah, cool inside. Oh, knocked down some figures, but figures for the cockpit on both sides. There's room on the inside for more figures. There's room for figures to be holding the guns. There's 3 figures on the footwells. I think that's what you call them. So all in all, I think I counted one time that there's like 30 some figures that this vehicle holds, and it is really great. And it's got a cool bumper, and it's just a really cool thing. And it's got its own little helicopter to go with it. That if you take that off, it's even got a groove in it for its own helicopter. And if you only have, maybe you bought it and didn't have that one, and you only had the retail one, well, or if you just like the color of the retail one, and you don't overly like the bright yellow, you can have that on there. So it looks really great. This is how I've been displaying my General. And I have a couple of figures for the outside and stuff. And one just kind of sitting here. Scarlett just sitting there, taking a nap or whatever she's doing. So, yeah, I think this thing can hold 30 figures, but if you really tried and you had some, whatever things, you could put figures with like foot stands, and you can see you could fit a whole lot. You could fit a whole lot more figures on here. Yeah. Oh no! Oh, my Motor Viper. Oh. Oh, he survived. Oh, look at that. All right. See, you can even put like modern day ones on there. And see, you could just pack this full. And even on the inside where there is figures and stuff, there's room for more. You really could just stuff and stuff and stuff this thing. You could probably put 50 on here. That's how great this toy is. Now, coming in at number 3 is the 1986 Terrordrome. This is the launch and fuel base for Cobra. It's their big iconic base. It's got huge heavy cannons, side door heavy cannons. Well, a little smaller. So when you have all of the armaments out and all of this stuff, it's got 4 heavy cannons, 4 medium cannons. It's got top 4 figures and a vehicle. And inside are places for fuel pumps. And I will slide that out so you can see. So that is really cool. That's, yeah, boy, that's tough, because that one is probably cooler than the General, but it's more stationary and it's got less interactivity, I guess, as you might say. Because you can put figures all around it, and you can open up, and each door has places for figures and everything. But I don't know, this is really awesome. It is really close between the General and the Cobra Terrordrome. Very close. And if you'd flip-flop them, I'd be like, yeah, I agree with you. So it's just kind of a toss-up between that. Coming in at number 2, this may surprise some people, but the 1992 headquarters. This is a massive toy. Oh, I should slide it over just a tiny bit. Yeah, it kind of sticks over. This thing is so big it kind of doesn't quite fit on my table here. This is number 2. And it is such a huge base. I can't even tell you. You can't even, just by looking at it, you can't even tell how big it is. Let me find a normal 3 3/4 inch figure. I will show you my Super Trooper. And give you a sense of scale, 3 3/4 inch, 1988 figure. Holding up his shield. Shield kind of adds a little bulk. But that gives you a sense of scale on the size of this toy. This toy is ridiculously big. And one day it will get its own review, probably next year. Probably the last review of the year. We'll have a big one like that. So that might be the end of the review year next year. But it's got like 20 or so odd foot pegs. It's got 2, 4, 6, 8. Wait, I'm sorry. 1. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, unless I've already counted that one. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. And that's the ones I can see. So 34 foot pegs. And like I kind of said in like the general and a few others, if you really just put figures just even like this and had a few figures on the foot pegs, you could just jam this thing full of figures. You could have probably like 50 or 60 figures, maybe even. I'll even put him up here. I have an extra gun, and I will have to watch the review to figure out where it goes. There's a gun port here. There's a gun port here, a gun port here, a gun port there, but not here or like in front or anything. I mean, you could put it here, I suppose. Or kind of put it in the corner. But maybe when I do a little more exhaustive looking at this, there's other pieces to it. But, so there might be a place that I just didn't see. But this is the big one. This is, I think, cooler, even though others would probably say the original is better. For me, it's this one because you can put figures in there. And say it's time to clean up. Say you've had this out and you've decided, okay, time to go to bed. Everything has a place. Everything is now stored away, put away, and you can pick it up. Although, I probably wouldn't, that's probably not a good idea to have it like there, but maybe put it on top like that. Oh, although then that just fell. Maybe like that. And you could just pick it up with all of the figures and all the missiles and all the guns, and you could just pick it up and put it away just like that. That's why it, I think, is cooler than the original. Now, before I get to number one, this is an honorable mention. If mine was in a little better shape and I'd had all of its pieces, I've got a lot of work to do before I get this one. I had to tape the head on. But the GoBots Battle Station is going to be an honorable mention for this year because it is humongous. It could hold figures. Here is, once again, just a regular 3 3/4 inch figure. Now, I realize this is for GoBots and not G.I. Joe, but look at the size of this thing. This thing is ridiculous. Too bad you can't flip it that open and put a figure in there, but that's okay. You can open this up, clamshell style, sort of. And you can see there's a bunch of stuff that you could do, and you could put figures in there. It'd be really cool. I've always wanted this. My cousin had one, and we never played with it, actually, to be honest. He had it on a shelf, and we never played with it. I don't ever remember playing with this, not even once. So I couldn't even tell you any of the things about it. So here, I'm going to put this in a little bit into more frame. You can open this up, and then it becomes a walking like thing, like in Star Wars. Mine, once again, too. This is, I bought mine, well, obviously used, but I bought mine on Facebook from a friend, and it's a little dinged up, a little battered. I need to do some stuff, but look, I mean, it's got the long legs. You can stand up. You can open her up and put figures in there. Like I said, here, let me see if I can get the clamshell open again. And kind of put a figure in here. Maybe I'll see if I can find a stormtrooper. And then you kind of pretend that this is like an Imperial walker thing. And put a couple of figures in there. It's really nice. So that makes for an honorable mention before we get to number 1. And yes, my number 1 toy of the year that I got this year is the Imperial Shuttle. Yep, I really love this toy. I think it's probably the best toy that I've gotten in a very long time. Works great, everything looks good on it, and I'm happy that it is in my collection. I think this is probably top 2 or 3 toys that I ever got. And I think that this deserves to be the number 1 spot. I've wanted one since probably 1987. I know it's a 1984 toy. I know this one is 2002, but the 1984 version, I probably didn't know that there was one until I saw one. My friend had one, and it was probably like 1987 when I actually saw them playing with it, or well, had it. The reason I remember that so well is we watched Spaceballs, and I think that was the year 1987 it came out. So yeah, it was a good movie, and this is a great toy, and I'm so happy it's in my collection. Please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notifications so you never miss one of our awesome videos. Well, thank you for watching, and we will see you
next time.
Bye.
Bye.